Hey family, welcome back to the Imani Invests community. I want to start by asking you a question that most of us are too afraid to answer honestly. Are you actually doing better or worse than the average person your age? We spend so much time scrolling through social media, seeing someone in a leased luxury car or a designer outfit, and we automatically assume they're rich. Then we look at our own savings, or that credit card balance we're still carrying, and we feel like we're miles behind. But I am going to let you in on a secret. Most of what you see out there is a performance. When you look at the real data on what Americans actually have in the bank, you might be shocked at where you actually fall on the ladder. Today, I am breaking down every wealth level from a negative net worth all the way up to millionaire status. We aren't just going to talk about the numbers, we're going to talk about what each level actually feels like, the daily stress, the psychology, and most importantly, exactly what it takes to move from one level to the next. I am Imani, and I spend my time studying the intersection of money and human psychology. If you've ever wondered how having a different amount of money changes the way you think and make decisions, hit that subscribe button and join our family. Let's get some clarity on your true scoreboard. I want you to think of your net worth like a fitness score. You wouldn't walk into a gym and start lifting weights without knowing your starting point, right? You need a baseline. Without knowing your actual number, you're just guessing. And guessing with your money is how you stay stuck for decades. Net worth is simply everything you own, minus everything you owe. Your savings, your 401k, the value of your home, subtract your mortgage, your car loan, and those credit card balances. Whatever is left is your net worth. For a lot of people in our community, that number is negative. And that is level 1, survival mode. When you owe more than you own, every paycheck is spoken for before it even lands. You're on a treadmill that's going backwards, and your brain is stuck in a scarcity mindset. Your cortisol levels are high because you're redoing math at 3 a.m., wondering if you can afford both gas and groceries this week. You feel shame because you're reworking hard but still drowning. Roughly 15% of Americans are here, so if this is you, you aren't alone, but you are in the danger zone. Your only mission at this level is to get to zero. Pay off that high-interest debt and stop the bleeding. Getting to zero net worth is actually a massive achievement because it means you owe nobody anything. That is a flavor of freedom most people never even taste. Level 2 is having a net worth between $0 and $10,000. You out of the hole, but you standing right at the edge looking down. You still fragile. At this level, you might have a few thousand in savings, but one real emergency, one medical bill or a major car repair, wipes you out and sends you back to negative. The panic is gone, but the anxiety remains. You retreading water. About 25% of Americans live in this zone. It's progress, but it isn't safety. Your entire focus here should be building to that $10,000 mark. I call 10,000 the escape velocity number. That S where the math finally starts working for you instead of against you. Automate a transfer today. Even if it's just $25 a week, the amount matters less than the habit of consistency. Level 3 is where things get interesting, $10,000 to $50,000. This is where a literal shift happens in your brain. When you have a real emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses, that constant survival math starts to fade. You stop checking your account balance before you buy groceries. You move from survival mode into opportunity mode. When you have a cushion, you negotiate harder at work because losing your job is a death sentence anymore. You take bigger swings, maybe investing in yourself or a side project, because you have a safety net. You're now doing better than half the country. The goal here is to get your savings rate to 15% and start putting money into a simple S&P 500 index fund. Don't try to be a hero and pick stocks. Just let compounding start its quiet work. Level 4 is $50,000 to $100,000, and I call this the threshold of comfortable. Most of the raw money stress disappears here. At $50,000, you can handle almost any surprise without debt. At $100,000, you start watching your money make its own money. Maybe your portfolio grew by $8,000 or $10,000 last year just by existing. You didn't work overtime for that. Your money just did its job. You start thinking in years instead of weeks. Retirement stops being a scary someday and becomes a real plan. But here is where I see two different paths. I think about two sisters, Tasha and Keisha. Both earn $70,000 a year. Tasha saves 6%, leases a new car every 3 years, and lets her housing eat up 60% of her check. After 10 years, Tasha is still stuck at this level. But Keisha saves 20%, drives a reliable used car she paid cash for, and invests in index funds. Same income, but 10 years later, Keisha has crossed $250,000 while Tasha is still comfortable, but stagnant. The difference is just 5 or 6 boring decisions made consistently. Level 5 is $100,000 to $250,000. You are now in the top third of American households. At this level, compound interest becomes your silent coworker. Your investments might be adding $20,000 a year to your wealth without you lifting a finger. This is what I call walking away money. It isn't enough to retire, but it is enough that a toxic boss loses their power over you. You are no longer trapped by desperation, but hear me on this. This level is also where lifestyle inflation becomes your biggest enemy. Companies will start marketing to you, and your friends will start upgrading their lives. If you give in, you'll be stuck here forever. The sisters who build legacies are the ones who keep their lifestyle flat while their wealth grows. That gap is your engine. Protect it with everything you have. Level 6 is $250,000 to $500,000. We are now entering quiet wealth territory. At this level, your money might be generating what a full-time worker makes in many parts of the country. You re-earning a salary just by waking up. Daily life is genuinely free from money stress. You buy things because you want them, not because the old ones broke. You think in decades. Work becomes optional in a beautiful way. You do it because it gives you purpose, not because you rechain to a paycheck. You take bigger swings because failure can ruin you. You in the top 10% now. Winning a game most people don't even get to play. If you are worried about inflation or market crashes, remember, time in the market beats timing the market. Automate your systems so you never have to rely on willpower. Level 7 is $500,000 to $1 million. You are a half millionaire or better. At this level, the 4% rule kicks in. $500,000 can give you $20,000 a year forever without touching the principal. $1 million gives you $40,000. Your investments have officially replaced a middle-class income. You can design your days around fulfillment. You can help your family or work on passion projects without looking at the cost. Material desires are easily met. The only things you can afford are yachts and private jets, and most of us don't need those anyway. The stress of money is a distant memory. Finally, level 8 is $1 million and up. You are in the top 3% of American households. Your money is generating a solid six-figure salary all by itself. Money is no longer a factor in your daily decisions. But I want to tell you something important about this level. It doesn't feel 10 times better than having $100,000. There is something called hedonic adaptation. You get used to the big house and the luxury car very quickly. The biggest difference at $1 million isn't happiness. It's complete and absolute freedom. You own your time. But remember, the wrong scoreboard will always make you feel poor. If you have $200,000 and you comparing yourself to billionaires on TikTok, you feel behind even though you crushing it. Compare yourself to your past self. Compare yourself to the median. Building wealth is about creating options and security, but it is the only measure of a good life. A woman with $50,000, a healthy body, and deep relationships is living better than a lonely millionaire whose health is failing. Money solves money problems, but it doesn't solve meaning problems. Build your wealth so you can focus on what actually matters. So, here is your homework for today. Figure out your true net worth. Add up the assets, subtract the debt, and find out which level you on. Then ask yourself, what is the plan to reach the next level? What is the timeline? Every level is achievable. People climb this ladder every single day, starting from the very bottom. It just takes knowing where you are and putting one foot in front of the other. Start today, automate one transfer, or cancel one wasteful subscription. The level above you is closer than you think. This is Imani reminding you that wealth is built step by step, and your legacy is worth the discipline. I'll see you in the next one.